Hey guys, I'm Leona, also known as Mrs. Worldwide, and today I'm going to be talking to Chris Cruz live.
Hi, everybody.
All right, let's first things first. I have to apologize again about Mother's Day. I was confused about the link, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I hit you up, and then I hit up Biz, but neither of you guys like sent me the link again. And I clicked on the other link, and I was like, "Oh no, this broadcast has ended!" And you know, I was like, "Oh, I felt so bad. I really did. Do you forgive me, Chris?"
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's Mother's Day too. I mean, it's all like whatever you had going on that day is it would have been a privilege for you to have been there. And I was so appreciative of the people that were able to show up, and Ashley was able to come on, and she was able to talk, and it was pretty interactive, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, that's your day. You don't owe me anything.
No, I know, and I felt that. I even left because the party ended up like getting pushed way back, but that's neither here nor there. I left the party and I went to like the garage and I found a chair and I was like set up and I'm like, why isn't he coming, like letting me on the show? And then I looked up and it said this broadcast is ended, and I'm like, he sent me the wrong link, and I was like freaking out, but. Things happen, but I'm glad it worked out. It looked like you had a nice little setup there with the people. Pride's wife, I never
Yeah, yeah.
met
She's
before.
I mean, her business is excellent, just awesome.
Booming.
Well, and you got that whole relationship that they have is just the relationship that they have that Pride has with his wife, how dedicated they are to their son, dedicated to their businesses, and just good all around good people. And I was able to ask some questions to
Right.
for everybody, and I was very happy to see that because because one of the things that you run into in this and nowadays and everything like that, especially with the media and politics and stuff, is sometimes you just get this dread that this isn't the way it used to be, and you feel this way.
Yeah.
But when you're talking to, especially when we were talking to the moms and stuff like that, it was like, wow, they're yeah. There's good people out there, and there's good. It's just a lot of bad stuff's coming up, but I'm thoroughly impressed with all of them. And Ashley, that was super exciting because she'd never um, participated in any kind of a live or anything like that,
Yeah,
and
she's been pretty big in the comments.
yeah,
Definitely.
she's all over the place. And when
Yeah.
she was like, she sent me a message during it and said, "I'm gonna try to come on," and I was like, I'm not going to say anything or do anything like that. And then she showed up, and I was like, yay.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm glad it worked out. And who is Brianna?
She's my daughter.
Oh, I didn't know. I was like, I think, but I can't tell because he sounds like the way he's talking to her, like it's kind of familiar. But yeah, I didn't hear you introduce her as your daughter. You were
Well,
just
I
like,
thought it was up to her and everything like that, but then like
oh,
she had her dog there, and then she had my granddaughter there, and
yeah.
I think she slipped up and said, "Papa," and
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
then Imran, my son-in-law, my other daughter, well, Morgan, I think you've seen
yeah.
her, whatever. Morgan's husband, he's a Marine in California, and he said, I don't know if he said a comment, or yeah, he said a comment, and I mentioned his name, and Olivia, my granddaughter, was there, and she was like, "Hi, Imran." So I think it was like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's gonna figure it out at some point.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's why I tell them, if you don't want to claim me, that's fine.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's okay. I'm too old to be concerned about what people think of me. So,
That's crazy if you don't want to claim me. That's
yeah.
funny. So let's I'm like trying to get myself together here. Let's see who's in the comments. All right, we got Biz Entertainment says, let's go. What's up, Biz? He's always there. Sharon Sabari says hi. And also, you're doing excellent work. I can see from where Daniel learned. LOL. Love you. Yeah, right. Thank you. My name Jeff. I don't know the one, but you weren't number one. I'm sorry, Jeff. Or my
Jeff,
name.
I think Jeff is number one on Daniels.
Oh, I'm in StreamYard. Sorry, guys. Compton said, "What's up?" Hey, Compton, haven't seen you in a
Compton.
while.
Yeah.
Hope he's feeling better. Vulcan Maniac, let's Vulcan go. Then we got Jam Rock says, "Hey all." Triple Moon Goddess, hey, welcome. Oh, Sharon Sabari says, "Mother's Day was a great show." And Crazy Diamonds waving. Oh, and then Commander 605, hey, good people. All right, let's do this too. So I remember on one of the lives with Odonado, he asked you if your name was Chris Cruz or Cruzy, and you said Cruzy. Is it
Yes.
Cruzy?
It's cruisy.
All right, so I've
But
heard
it's
it a
it's
couple
one of
times.
those things that it was changed. I actually think years ago
I
when
think
my
it was cut off.
family. Huh?
I think they probably cut your name off.
Well, I think there was actually, because in documents and everything, it looked like there was like a hyphen, like or what do you what's that? And not an asterisk, but like a dash, like above the e,
Oh,
and
an accent?
yeah, an accent,
Oh.
and I think that's what we were saying. But my great grandfather was always like, "It's Cruise E," and I was like, "Okay." And then I've told my kids it's actually Cruzy, just to be factually correct. But at
Mm.
the same time, people are like, I mean, whatever is convenient for you to call me is
All right.
fine, as long as it's not like, if you
Not
call me a
crusty.
jerk, just stay away from me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've had my first name mispronounced a bunch of times, so
Yeah,
that's
I
annoying.
don't I don't I mean, if it's malicious or something, I think then that's I'm like, "Okay, what do you," but I
Yeah.
think this is way when people, say my name, it's comfortable for them, and I don't have a big problem with it because I know what my name is, and I'm not upset by that. I wanna make it as easy as possible for them.
Oh, I don't really care if it's easy for people to say my name, but I went to a training yesterday, and I don't like work, but sometimes I have to do some things. So I was there, and my name was spelled Liona. Like, what are you doing, Liona? Come on, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I was very disappointed. Then they gave me like a completion certificate with the Liona. I was like, who's this chick? Like,
Yeah.
this is I hate that crap.
You don't even take the time to, I mean,
I mean, because I sent them my name. Like, it's not like they had to sound it out and try to figure it out. Like, that was the issue, but whatever. But Dano, he has like all these press passes. They spell Prado so many ways. It could be like Protto, like Prata, like all these things. It's like, it's one letter different from Prada. Why are you making this
yeah.
so hard?
Yeah, it should be simple to do it. But I remember one time I was in the Jacksonville airport, I had to pick somebody up, and, they were coming from, I think, Miami or something. It wasn't too far away. I forget where they were coming from. But their flight was delayed. So back then, I mean, we didn't have cell phones and stuff like that. So they called the airport and they left a message, and that the flight was going to be later. Like the flight that they were on, they weren't able to get on. They were going on a different one, and it
Mhm.
was a couple hours later. So while I was there, they're announcing this name, Chris Caruso. And they were announcing it forever, and I was sitting there for the longest time, and I knew the flight, and when they didn't come off of it, I didn't hear anything, so I got on a payphone, and, I called back home, and they were like, "No, we haven't heard anything." So I waited, and then they told me that they have another flight that's coming in. They may have gotten bumped to that one or whatever, so I was gonna wait for that one. They finally got there, and they were like, "Wait," I sent him and told him to tell you a message or whatever. So I went up there. I was like, You keep calling this Chris Caruso person. What is the name?" And they're like, "It's spelled, Kruse."
Like, what kind of logics and phonetics? Like, I don't
I
even
have
know.
no idea. I was like, "Well, that's not me." But
Yeah, I've been
everything
in
worked
that
out.
situation. Yeah, I was in camp one time and I hated camp, but my mom made me go. And like I'm my three siblings, well there's me, there's my sister, there's me and my brother, and then like 3 years later and 3 years later there's the other two. So the three of us went everywhere together. And but like there's a certain age where you split up. So they were like, "All right, you go over here with this one and you two go over here." And they kept calling me Liana Myler. And I'm like, that's a crazy name. Like, and they kept saying it over and over. And then I just was like, that's not me. So I just
Yeah,
left them.
it's
But
all
then
right.
they ended up going to like to see Batman. That was when Batman came out with Michael Keaton. Like that movie was like
Oh,
a
that
huge
one.
movie. Yeah, I was a little kid. And I was like, why didn't I get to see that? And they were like, we called you. And I'm like, that's not my name. It's just not cool. Yeah, but I know how that is. And
Names
I
are
guess my
important.
first name, people like they mispronounce my first name, but not the last name. I got like the most basic last name ever. I mean, that's kind of why I didn't want to switch over to Prado. It's just like, my last marriage, that last name was crazy. I didn't change that name, but I like filled it out everywhere. And it just was like, dude, I can't even. Just stick with my easy spelling name. All right. So, what are you a single? Yeah, you're a single father.
I am. Yeah.
You like it? Or
Uh,
would you think you would rather have had a wife or a mother for the kids?
um, yeah. Sometimes I think that. I think that my daughters, but my daughters, I always thought, did they miss out? Because I mean, I've been single with my kids since 2007.
That's what.
So, and had to running everywhere for all their events and different
Hmm.
things and all that stuff. And I've always thought that I thought I brought it up to them over the last couple of years. Did you guys think that you missed out because there wasn't like a daily mother figure in the house and everything? And
Yeah.
they're all like, no, no. And they're like, they don't want me dating. They don't like any woman. They're all bees
Oh,
and stuff. They're like, no, stay away from my dad, that kind of
oh.
thing.
Well, I get that, but I would still like want you to be happy, especially since they're older. My mom, she was a widow and she didn't date for like 30 years. And
Mm.
then she decided to start dating like right before she passed away. But yeah, it's like, you get lonely and you get bored. Like after you're
Yeah,
done.
I mean, I think that I would normally think that, but like with the way my life has been, I would think that like people always talk to me about like the things that I've done and stuff like that, and I always tell them that every time that I ever think about any kind of mistakes I made or problems that I've had in my life or whatever, I would never I would want to go back in time. It would be the greatest joy to go back in time, but I wouldn't go back and change anything, even the
Mm,
mistakes I've made. I'd just like to
mhm.
watch it all over again.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I would just everything that's ever happened to me, it's like I can't even imagine having a better life. I mean, I don't, and I have dated. It's not like it's not I don't date at all. I have dated, and those relationships have ended, but we're all still friends. I have
That's
tons of
cool.
friends, and there's a lot of women in my life that are like
Oh,
very, that I haven't dated or whatever, but they're just so many
oh.
different personalities and that are a part of my life that are it's quite enjoyable. So I get that. I don't think I'm ever lonely. My kids are always around. My grandkids are around. Someone's
Mhm.
always, we need papa or we need something for dad,
Yeah,
but
that's cool. Did you pick that name? Pawpaw?
no, it was given to me by my first grandchild. He was such a stinker. He's such a good boy. He's amazing. But that he decided that he was going to call me that
Well, that's
because
cool.
I was
I have
like,
a name that I want them to call me when I get grandkids. I want to be a glamour because I'm gonna be
grandma.
glamorous.
There you
It's
go.
like, yeah.
And I
So
think that that's a name that could stick though. That's a name.
Yeah,
I could see that,
yeah,
because if some people are like, when I get older, I want them to call me Gammy Gammy or something. And you're like, that kids are never going to do that,
it's a little
dude.
complicated.
Yeah,
I have
they're
a
not
G-
going to stick with that one.
yeah, I have a Gammy. We call her Gams. Well, I do anyway. Gams, Gam. But I think she likes that name. That was her name though that she picked. We had like a different name for every grandmother, so there was no grandma blah blah blah. You know,
Yeah,
I don't. I
we
think
did
that's
we did the same thing. We had all different names for our grandparents and all
it
that.
just
So
makes it easier. I knew somebody who had like a grandma, like let's just say Grandma Jones, and I was like, why do you have to call her by her last name? I find that
yeah,
to be strange. But
yeah,
whatever, that's what
and
people
that's
do.
what they did. That's what I mean. We had a side of the family that it wasn't my grandparents, but they used the last name, and I thought the same thing. But
Yeah, it's
you
weird.
know,
Let's see what this guy says. My name Jeff says, my biggest pet peeve is when I see people respond to someone's email with a greeting and spell their name wrong. It's in their email signature. LOL, not that hard to get it right. Yeah, just like copy and paste, man. Some people are just
Mhm.
obnoxious that way though. Like
Yeah,
I've seen that before where like you tell them that your name is something and they just mispronounce it right away. Like this that happened with the doctor one time. I was telling the doctor the other doctor's name, and I was like, "Yeah, it's Doctor Sabito," and she's like, "Oh, okay, Doctor Sabato," and
that's not what I
I'm like,
said.
"Who's that?" Because I have like slow moments sometimes where I don't know what people are talking about if they like change one little thing because I'm not always paying attention. I'll be honest, but yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I don't know if you can say it's a slow moment. I think you have to say it's more like you take longer to analyze and process what you've seen, It's
Yeah,
not
because I
you're
know how
not
to.
slow, you're just thinking it through.
Yeah, like I don't expect to have to think stuff through. So then
Yeah.
when I do, I'm like, I don't know. Was I supposed to know about that? Like,
Yeah,
what's
I
going
do that
on
all the
here?
time. My kids will say something, I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So I'm just gonna not say anything.
No, I usually do, but sometimes like my younger son, he just like, I don't know. Like if he doesn't have a certain amount of food, which is like an absorbent amount of food, if he doesn't have it, he's walking around like a drunk person and he
No.
talks all weird. And I'm like, what are you saying? I don't even know what you just said. Then he'll start laughing and fall over. I'm like, okay,
Uh,
guess it's time for some more food for you.
yeah, you gotta feed him.
All that kid does is eat. Oh my gosh. Like it's crazy. Half the time Danny doesn't even get any dinner that I make. I mean, he doesn't eat that much anyway. Danny, he eats like out at work and then when he comes home he doesn't really eat. But if he did want some, no, it's gonna be gone. It's just ridiculous. All right, so I do know that you were in the military.
I
What
was.
branch were you in?
Air Force.
All right, that's cool. My sister was in the Air Force. Did you fly anything?
I did not, but I flew in things.
Okay. Okay.
I did not
So
do the
you were in the Air
flying.
Force and you weren't a pilot? I know
No.
they're not all pilots, but I feel like they should. So are you comfortable talking about your position?
There's certain things I can't talk about, but,
Right.
my position was I would say that my position was not the position that I expected, and I was in the field a lot, and I was deployed a lot
Mm,
to, yeah, locations that, were rough. I got to see a lot of things that I got to see, and I take this as, it's a big thing for me, but I got to see people at their worst,
mm.
and, I got to help them,
Well, that's
so,
good. I mean, sometimes it's hard helping people through tough situations, but it's good that you can and you didn't have
yeah,
to do other things because I know it's tough. I knew
yeah, but
some.
my job and what I did was it was a privilege, and I'm very grateful for it,
Mhm,
it was tragic, and it was, mentally challenging, but, and heartbreaking, but
mhm.
I'm very grateful that I was put there at that given time by the universe, by God, or whatever to be there.
Yeah. So, do you think that it took a toll on you? Any like PTSD or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does, but I think I think that I adjusted to the point where I think that it makes me maybe more empathetic and
Mm,
more understanding of certain things. And you know, the things that you see and the things that have happened and stuff, they're going to scar you forever. And every once in a while, it'll spike dreams and
mm,
issues will be a problem. But I mean, you just work through those things. You
yeah.
work through them, and you. Bottom line is, I feel like what I did was I helped people that I never knew in terrible situations far, far away from where I came from, and
Hmm.
and I think of that as more as a blessing than I do a tragedy or something that affects me. And some people that they can't get past that, and that's one of the things that I try to do, and I think it's very helpful because I volunteer with um, combat veterans and
Hmm.
the VFW and the American Legion and stuff, and I think it helps me because I see their stories, and you know, I can I know what they're going through, and I think it helps me.
Oh,
Um,
like get through what you're going through too?
yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
I really am grateful for all the veterans. I actually wanted to go into the army to be a translator,
Oh wow,
but
that would have been pretty fascinating. Yeah.
it would have been, but when I called and you had to do all the stuff after the recruiters came, they rejected me because I have medical conditions. I mean, at the time,
Right.
I didn't have my back problem. I didn't have the knee problem. I was before I was paralyzed. So, yeah. And I was like so pissed off. They were like, you're really short. Your weight is too low. You have asthma. You have that. And I was like, what? Because I was so excited about it. Like, I just thought it was gonna be cool. And they told me I could do it. And I was pretty mad. So my little sister got older. She did ROTC and then she went into the Air Force and
Nice.
then she learned how to fly stuff. And then she went to the Army and then she learned how to fly the Chinooks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's what she can do. And then oh, she did something else, but she got out of the army maybe a couple of years ago. She came here and stayed with us for a little bit, and she's dealing with stuff, physical stuff. So that leaves me, I mean, mental stuff too, but that leads me to ask you: did you get any injuries?
I I no. No, nothing that you would there I have I have a tinnitus, constant ringing in the ears and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
I have
from shots.
there's certain things that nothing that I would ever go to the VA and
Right.
file a claim or anything like that. I just feel like I can make it through me, and I'm very fortunate with insurance and the
Hmm.
things that I have. That there are there are a lot of people out there that need it a lot more than I do. So that no, anything that I have is probably more old age than, than it is good. But that's weird that you said that about the interpreters because when I was in those places that I worked with a lot of interpreters, and
Yeah.
we had to go places and they were all civilian.
Yeah, yeah. It would.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know about that. I just know that when the recruiter came, that they were like, "Oh, you can get paid to stay away from the war." And I'm like, what? How? And they were like, if you're a translator, like, we need to keep you safe because we need to be able to like speak to the
Yeah,
people.
that I think that is a recruiting ploy there because
Yeah.
most of the recruiters that are not recruiters, the interpreters that I worked with were in hot zones. So
Yeah. Well, you have to be because you got to be able to talk to the people. But
yeah.
I was young. I was like 17 years old. I had no idea what was really going on.
I think that but they classify that as the area of responsibility. So and
Mm.
that's kind of away from it, but at the same time
You're
it's
still there.
representative.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah. I think it's probably worked out for the best because I have too many issues. We got Crypto Pride. Hey, Pride.
Yeah.
I
I'm a
miss.
big fan of Crypto Pride.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He says, oh, my name Jess says thank you for your service. Of course, thank you,
Thank you,
Chris.
Jeff.
We all appreciate you and the veterans that keep us safe. Um, yeah, Pride, he's pretty cool. He's like on the quiet side, but he says funny little things. And you're like, did he just say that? And then
Mhm.
he did, and then you laugh, like, and then he's like, he looks young, but he acts old.
Yeah, he's wise. He's very wise.
Yeah.
And
But
his
even
wife
when
is just spectacular too, so I could just imagine how the 2 of them are. I mean,
yeah, that would be cool to see them together.
she was on the live and he wasn't, and it would really be, like, real nice to see both of them, interacting and,
Yeah.
it would be nice to go to dinner, like, with Pride and
Yeah.
his wife, and, he likes to go out to dinner on Friday nights, and
Really.
I'm like, "Maybe I'll make a trip, maybe I'll just show up," you know?
Yeah,
They
I do have an uncle and my sister live down there, so maybe I will pop up. I was actually supposed to be there next week because my niece is graduating. I was gonna say my little niece, but she's not little. She's like taller than me, but whatever.
She'll always be little.
Yeah, yeah, she's graduating, but they just decided that it's too weird, so we'll just go for the graduation party. So I won't be down there, but I think Pride said something about them coming to New York or something. So
I think that's something that I've asked, Artsy Girl, that if that was ever something that she was going to, announce,
yeah,
that I would actually start a live just so that she could announce it, but I'm sure Pride has some other, but yeah, I don't know
but
if they are coming to New York, but I do know that that was something that they in the future might be, so
yeah, yeah, he said something. Pride said you're always welcome. Cool, but yeah, if they come up by New York, yeah, Danny and I will go and meet you up there, and we can do some dinner, or you
yeah.
guys could come here. But I mean, it's a little far from New York now that we moved. I miss the city, he knows, but after Vulcan and all that stuff, we can get another apartment up there, maybe do a little Airbnb. All right, let's get into it. Got a little bit more hard hitting questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Batman or Superman?
Oh, Superman.
Yes, you passed the test.
No way would I mean, I think Batman's a neat series, I mean, the gadgets and things like that and everything,
Yes,
but
very clever.
ultimately, you take the suit off. It's kinda like Iron Man. It's like
Oh
when
yeah,
they did Iron Man, they made a point to show that, you know, Tony Stark is vulnerable without the suit, but
yeah,
with Batman, it's always like, "Oh, he's just a tough guy all the time and can do." It's like, okay, Batman, I can see both of them are great. Don't get me wrong, but I would rather
yeah,
just be Superman, especially with the newer movies that with Henry Cavill and stuff, and
yeah.
pretty exciting.
Yeah, I like him. And I've been Supergirl for I don't know how many years. I have like a couple of the costumes. Both of my boys, when their first Halloween came, they both were Superman. Danny's been Superman. That's why he tries to
I
like be
could see
Batgirl
him being
sometimes.
that. You know what?
Yeah,
You know what? I know that this is weird, but do you have a picture of him as Superman? I think it would be popular. I think,
I
and you
do, but
promised the
where
picture of the long hair too. Remember?
yeah, yeah, I have that still. I gotta see if I have it in the computer. I might have.
That would be awesome. I
Yeah.
think he could pull off Superman and
Oh yeah. Well,
with
he
his
looks
hair
like
and stuff, and
Clark Kent. But yeah, he's
yeah,
done the little S curl sometimes. My younger son too. Like if his hair's not like, depending on the weather or whatever, because he has curly hair. But Danny's hair is curly in Miami, but like up here it's not. I think it depends
oh
on the
wow.
humidity too. Yeah. But my hair wasn't curly down there, so I don't know. That's weird.
I'd like to see that picture of Daniel as Superman. I think that would be pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
his fans and his community would like that too.
Yeah. I don't know if I could find it on here though. Let me see. Give me a minute. Because I don't really sign in outside of my phone
Mhm.
on Facebook. Like it's just in there. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's see if this one works. Oh. No, they want me to reset my password. Sorry, we can't do it today. All right. So then, Coke or Pepsi?
Um, I both, I guess. Yeah, I
No,
would
you
say.
gotta pick one. It's the end of the world.
I would say that I would like Coke first,
Good
but
answer.
at the same time, it would be like I would be like, well, I'd rather have like water or something, you know. But
Yeah, I don't drink either one, but I still like Coke better. I used to be addicted to it, but I can't do the caffeine.
yeah, I
So
could see Coke. I would think Coke. I mean,
yeah, it just tastes better.
you can be wrong and like Pepsi, but
Yeah,
you're just wrong.
exactly, exactly. So if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
um, just one superpower.
Just one.
I would think that I I don't know. I think I'd like to have like I don't know flight. I would say flight. That would be cool.
That's what I picked. As long as
Yeah.
it's not in the rain, I think I.
Well, then that goes hand in hand. So if you had the ability to fly, but you were human and you messed up and fell to the ground and died, it's like, okay, I don't want to have flight, and then like I don't,
No,
I
because if
don't
you
know
could
if I want a
fly,
superpower now.
you'd be careful. You wouldn't just be like, slamming into things. You're not a bird. Like
Oh
birds.
yeah, like and even a bird though. I mean, they don't just well, I guess they do fall out of the sky if something happens, but
Well, yeah, but they have a magnetism. So we wouldn't have that. We'd just be flying wherever we want. Like they can't always fly just exactly where they
just
want.
aimlessly flying. I don't know if I want to be. I don't want a superpower as flight now. Now I'm all
Oh,
worried.
I'm
I
flying.
run
Well,
into a house or something.
you're gonna be safe. Well, the other two, they picked invisibility, and I said it better not be because you want to be a creep. But you know,
well, would that be a superpower?
yeah, you can
Invisibility. Yeah.
turn
So
invisible. Yeah, you got to be super.
so
Like
you could
Batman
be
can.
invisible and then you could be visible.
Yeah, you just make yourself invisible whenever you want.
That's true. That's creepy though.
It could be if you
What
were
would
a
you
creep.
do if you were invisible though? What would you like? Could you like save people? That's superheroes type stuff, right? I could
Yeah,
see being invisible and like walking into a bank and stealing money and like walking
that's
out and
exactly
everything.
what I said.
But
Yeah.
that's not superhero stuff. That's criminal stuff. So how would
Yeah.
you be? How's a
Listen,
superhero that's invisible?
I didn't say superhero. I just said superpower. So
But if you're invisible and they don't see you, and like you're trying to help somebody from being robbed, and they don't see it, and they shoot you, they could shoot you, right?
well, yeah, but you could see them, so you could like, duck and then beat them
Oh
up
yeah.
and take their
Well,
gun.
if you're invisible, would the bullet just go by you because you're invisible? You can't.
No, you're not like fake. You're still there, just nobody can see you. So you
Okay,
could
so
definitely
you
get
could,
shot.
if somebody touched you when you're
Yeah,
invisible, they would actually
would kill
touch
you.
you. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
could.
yeah.
I don't
You're
know.
you don't like totally disappear. You just disappear from sight. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like if you watch the movies, someone sits on someone, they're invisible,
Oh,
and they're like, "Ouch!" And
oh yeah.
because nobody could see them. Yeah, yeah, it would be
Yeah,
dead.
that ends up being a little creepy though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Now I'm concerned they're like invisible people in my house and stuff.
Dude, I do sometimes feel like that could be a thing. I know it's a little weird, but like I'll go get dressed in the bathroom just in case, like nobody's here. But I don't even get dressed in front of the dog though. Like that's me.
Oh, I actually I don't because of the fact that I my dogs I have 3 dogs and I think that they're like people. I
Yeah,
treat
yeah.
them like they're like I'm like what do you want for dinner? Like, I don't do that, but
Well, my
like
dog has wants, so yeah. I just tell him. I told him privacy, so
mhm.
he just looks away, and it's hard because you can see his eyebrows like moving, which means his eyes are moving all around. Because dogs are nosy, so
And
he'll
they're
look
so
away.
judgmental. God,
Well, my
my
dog's
dogs are
not
like,
very judgmental. Not of me. Like he judges other people though, like Danny, and
oh yeah.
definitely my younger son. But he's a pretty nice dog. He's not like a jerk, but well, when it comes to sleeping, he is. He just sleeps on top of people sometimes. Like he doesn't care, and he's heavy.
That's funny that you say that like about the house and stuff like that. Morgan always is like, Dad, I think our house is haunted.
Oh God, no.
Oh my goodness.
Not me, man. I pray about all kinds of stuff. I do not even play those games. Like, don't even watch crazy stuff in here, like those evil movies and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like,
I
God
don't.
knows if it comes through the TV, who knows?
Yeah, I don't do any of those the scary, crazy movies and stuff. My family members are like, "Oh my god, the new such and such is coming out," and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care.
When I was younger, I did watch what are those movies? The Halloween movies, like the old ones.
Oh yeah.
And you know how like on the pool in these scary movies, there's always like that smoky, like vapor on top of the pool. So we were in the pool at I was at my friend's house, and the pool started to get smoky, and we were like, "What the heck, man?" Like
Oh
it's like a
no.
scary movie. So we're like about to get out, but like you have to like stop and be totally still so you can make sure there's no killers around.
Yeah.
And then her dad came out the back door and he was like, "What are you doing?" And we were screaming so hard and so loud. It was just like it was crazy. Like we knew it was him, but he just startled us and he was cracking up. I was like, "That was mean." And then she had this puppy that would only like go to the bathroom a third of the way around the block. So we tried to like sneak and go like the short way. And he didn't go. So we had to go all the way around. And we had like I had her mom's like gold women's flip flops, and we're going, and then there was this car that like the light was on, but nobody was in it, like the dome light,
Mhm.
and we were like, "What the heck?" And then we looked. The car, I could have sworn the car moved. We both saw it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" The, the puppy was like a teacup Yorkie or something, little tiny puppy,
Mm-mm.
and I just kicked those dumb shoes off, grabbed him, and I ran. My friend, we were both on the soccer team. She was taller than me, had longer legs. I didn't think I had to look back for her. So we're running, and I turn around. I get in the gate. I turn around. She was gone. I'm like, where are you? She comes running around the corner with the puppy on the leash, but he's like running off the ground. She swung him around the corner, and he was like, and I was like, "Oh."
He's like, she's choking me.
But he was a trooper because he still was trying to run. He wasn't just like letting go. He was like, "I'm here too."
I got you. I'm gonna save you.
It was the craziest thing. And she's like, "You left me." And I was like, "I thought you were coming. We never talk about it. You just gotta go." Yeah, I thought we were gonna get killed. We never watched another movie like that. Well, I never did. That was crazy. But that poor dog, Cody.
Oh,
Cody was a trooper.
he's like, man, these people are crazy.
I know. I couldn't like why wouldn't you pick him up? I mean, I did scream to her. And I was like, pick him up, and she did, but he was jacked up. Poor Cody didn't fully recover from that. But yeah, that was my scary movie story. I'm good now. Like I'm
Yeah,
like
they that whole generation was scared to death when those movies like Friday the 13th and Halloween and all that stuff, and they came out.
yeah.
I remember when I went to see a couple of them, and I was like, for weeks or whatever, I was worried about someone jumping out of some bush or something.
Yeah. I watched Chucky when I was probably like 8. That
Mm,
I was okay with. My sister was freaking out. She's like a screamer, a grabber, like I was like, "You're gonna have to get a hold of yourself. It's a doll." Like,
yeah,
Michael Myers could have been a possibility in my mind, you know? And Freddy probably pretty ridiculous, but in my mind, they could have been possibilities because they were human. But Chucky, like, he's a dumb doll. So
yeah,
I didn't
yeah. I
get it.
couldn't get behind the Chucky stuff, but it was pretty creepy though. I think it was so creepy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
people liked it.
I don't like dolls really. I mean, I had them. I was a collector. I really didn't like to play with them that much, but it is what it is. I like boys' toys too. I was a big tomboy. You know, I grew out of it some, but I still am like, get annoyed with the girly crap. Some of my nieces would come over and stuff. We're just like, doing all kinds of crap. It doesn't have to be girly stuff, but I try to keep it spicy.
Yeah, my
Um,
older sister, she was pretty tomboyish. I mean, very, very. I mean, she was very, very pretty and everything. It wasn't like she was, but she could play the sports with us, do all that kind of stuff, and then dress nice and
yeah,
be girlish
that's
and
how I was.
everything. And my younger sisters they were girlish. You know, they
Ugh,
they had no interest
boring.
in that type of stuff. So
So boring. I used to wrestle and stuff. I mean, I never could pin anybody because I was so small, but nobody could pin me because I was like, wiggly and squirmy, and I would just like slide through. And they'd be like, "You can't do that," and I'm like, "Why not? You couldn't hold me down." Like, yeah, I always liked to play with the boys, even when my boys were little. We used to play fight, but when my oldest son got to be 3, he like lifted me off the ground a little bit,
oh
and I
yeah,
was like, "Oh, that's it. We're done with that game.
yeah.
You gotta cut it off." So let's go into some crypto questions. First, how did you meet Daniel?
I I'm pretty sure the story goes, and I always say I'll go look back, but I'm pretty sure the story goes that I saw him. I think he was on a walk. He was outside, and I think it was either a live that he was on his phone, and he was talking about how he's gonna start doing a live when he's exercising outside or something like that.
Hmm.
And he was talking about Seifu, and I'm like, "What the heck is this Seifu junk?" You know?
Yeah, it was
And
that's a weird name.
his name sparked something because Prado, it was similar to uh, relatives that live in New Jersey and New York and Long Island that we have.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was like, "Oh, how did he show up on my YouTube?" And I mean, I wasn't looking or anything. So I watched it. I was like, "Oh," so I went and checked it out. And then I was a couple days later, I bought a ton of Seifu. And then I was like, went back to Daniel's YouTube and I subscribed and I was like, "Thanks, Daniel, for your Seifu stuff."
Yeah.
And a couple days later, I sold every last dime I had in Seifu and made a killing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I've heard that
I
story.
only held Seifu for like days, and this
Okay.
was, I think it was the second day or the third day after it had launched, and then I took all that and put it in Bitcoin. Well, I put it
Mhm.
in a stable coin, and then I took the profits and put it in Bitcoin. So put everything back the way it was. And then like a couple weeks later, I see another video from Daniel and he's talking about Seifu. And I'm like, wait, this thing is a auto rebasing? What the heck is he talking about?
Yeah.
So then I went and did my research and I took all my profits that I got from Seifu and I bought into Seifu over the course of like 3 or 4 weeks. And so a couple months later, it dipped down and I bought a bunch more. And then I just held it, watched Daniel's lives and the Greek and just, and Chalk Talk and
Yeah,
Odinato. And
she's cool.
I just started watching, Pride and everybody. And I was just hanging out and enjoying it. And when it came time to sacrifice, I sacrificed like 25,000. Well, I had I reached 25,000 like a couple days before sacrifice, and then I split my Seifu into 3 different wallets, and then I
Mhm.
sacrificed the 3 wallets. So, and then those rebased till January-ish, and that's how I got all my soon to be Vulcan. And Daniel is completely the whole reason why and the only reason why, and the fact that Daniel kept doing his videos and stuff brought me back
Mhm.
in. So,
That's good. I think he brought a lot of people to the community.
oh yeah, he's a
I
big
think.
I love him, hate him, whatever. I don't see how anybody can hate him, but I mean, love him or hate him. I mean, he is there and he's the foundation, the rock of most of the people that are in Seifu. And I mean, even on and even taking that into consideration, without Daniel, I would have probably never even gone on YouTube. I would have never done
Mhm.
that. I mean, I had spent years playing video games, World of Warcraft, and I would stream on Justin TV and stuff like that when I was younger. Every once in a while, I still do. I stream like last weekend, but and then I do a lot of woodworking and CNC work and making stuff, and I put those on social media. But I do those videos and you know trim them down and post them. I don't do any kind of lives or anything like that. So you got to think the people that are in the community and the people that he brought people into the community and people that have never even thought about doing any kind of discussions like this or anything like that. I mean, the roots of all this comes from Daniel.
Yeah,
Most of it. I mean, Pride and Greek and stuff. They had their other channels and the other things that they talked about, but
right. But now they're mostly Seifu and Vulcan.
right, right,
Yeah,
which
I think
is
that's good.
yeah.
So how long have you been in crypto?
Oh, I mean, I got my first Bitcoin in it's like 2011, 2012.
That's a good amount of time. So how
So
many
now I trade Ethereum here and there, but Bitcoin I've always just accumulated. So
mhm,
I did sell in like 2016, somewhere around there.
take a
So
little
sold
profit?
3 Bitcoin back then, and then
Three?
yeah, and I've
Crazy.
recovered that, and I'm past the point of what I originally got. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I crypto of almost any kind. Um, I don't deal with much meme tokens and stuff, but I mean, there are some good things out there, and some of those tokens are really fun.
Hmm.
It's more like there's a crypto side that's business, and then there's a crypto side that's just fun. Degen type plays and stuff. So
Right. So I wanted to ask you about that because I personally like to just buy and hold things. I don't like to
mhm.
like mess with, trade and things like that. What would you say you do more?
Oh, I definitely hold. I accumulate and hold. I get most of my trading funds and everything like that from Forex. I trade Forex. I day trade. Well, I wouldn't say I day trade. I swing trade Forex. I have 3 bots that I run. I've been running for a long time, since maybe 2016.
That's
Um,
great. I need to set that kind of stuff up. Greek
yeah,
is
yeah,
talking
it's
about.
it's very beneficial. It's good, and usually every once in a while I'll see something that I'm interested in. Just because I like their idea, and I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. But rarely do I invest anything of significance in anything like that. But I stick with the Bitcoin is really the only Bitcoin, Seifu, um, I, you know, Hex, which Pulse Chain. So um,
Oh, that's the
that's about it.
Compton
Just
raves about them, right?
do what?
That's who Compton raves about, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things that I think that they're gonna come through all this, and it's gonna be pretty nice for them down the road. But
Yeah.
it's just that timing. Same thing with Vulcan. I mean,
Hmm.
I hope Vulcan is flawless, and everybody's super happy, and everybody makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
And but there's going to be some ups and downs and things, and we'll all get through it, and you know we'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I stick with the when it comes to crypto. That's where I try to accumulate as much as I can, and I don't like selling at all anything.
Yeah, I
So
think Daniel's like that too. So when you say the business with crypto, what do you mean by that?
what do you mean, the business?
Yeah, you said there's like business crypto and then
Yeah.
there's like degen stuff.
Well, the business part of crypto is like the institutional investing type. So like there like Tether, one of the things Tether is doing is they're going to start coupling with their assets, their profits, their net profits. 15% of their net profits are going to go to Bitcoin, and
Okay.
see they're setting it up, and their Bitcoin, Tether, the big ones, they're all running it as a business, as a
Mhm.
they're giving a product to their customers and such. A lot of the other cryptos are like, they're meme tokens that got 3 quadrillion tokens, and they'll burn down over years. And some of the things, they might have good ideas, but I just don't think they're taking it serious. I think that,
Gotcha.
so like Vulcan and Seifugo, and these are things that you can, as an investor, you can see the future. You can see something tangible, and a lot of the projects that are listed on the Vulcan list, those are projects that are for the future. And I think it's difficult because if you start going down that list, you just name them off like the one token, Johnny Blockchain, um, the property flex that I don't know if it's on the list now, but it's probably going to be soon.
Hmm.
The
Oh, with
all these
Kryptonia
different
and all.
ones, they're just, I can see real world value in most of the projects that are on there. Cosmic Force. I mean,
Oh
that's going to be
yeah.
a game that, I mean, I could seriously see I'm going to waste an enormous amount of time playing that game. You know, so I mean, which is terrible because I mean, you like those kinds of things, but then I'm going to be like, look, you can't make this game too good. And then like
Mhm.
the gods of gaming, what Fowler's doing. I mean, you're talking about a platform that's going to rival Steam and stuff like that. Those are business type. This is people like me that are that invest in things. This is the business aspect that I look for in crypto.
Mhm.
That gods of gaming. This is a future gaming platform that I can put money into and see real world returns. And a lot of these projects. And I know I'm going to miss them because I have a couple of them right, like the legendary token right now. I'm so knee deep in the information that your map put out today, and it's like, man, I get you get information overload, and sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
these guys have taken. I mean, take all those projects that are on that list. They have sat down and they have worked through an educated program to guide their cryptocurrency, their business into the future. And
Mhm.
that's what I mean by it. And there's so many coins out there or tokens out there that they just slap a white paper together. They throw it up there. They get people to join, and look at this is what the future is going to be. And either they rug or they just don't. And we have a community of people that I can see in the future. I can see 10, 20 years from now being like, yeah, you map. I remember when you launched that web page and you
Yeah.
started, putting your stuff out there. And Fowler, when I remember when Fowler used to do his afternoon, and all that stuff. So that's
Yeah,
that's
that
what
is
I mean
something
with,
to look forward to for sure. I think
yeah.
that's, 'cause it's been a year. Obviously, things could have just, been cut off or whatever, but the community's still going strong. Everybody's still
I
pretty close knit.
but that's my point is that this is the early stages. This is the
Right.
early stage. I mean, this is like infancy. This is like the baby hasn't even been born yet. And when the when the baby's born, we
Yeah.
got years and years of, I mean, you talk about all these different projects. You just can't go on enough about them because they're going to just be, they have built for the future, and they're on a good blockchain and everything like that. I'm super excited. I'm super bullish for everything that's happening in the community. And even when we have setbacks and stuff like that, and we have different issues, this community always rallies together. I mean,
Mhm.
somebody gets a little bit upset about this, don't like the way Brian did this, or we're not hearing this, we're not hearing that. And it's like, you have other people coming in and going, hey, let's talk this out, make you feel
Yeah.
better. And then, people are like, oh, okay, you're upset about that. Okay, well, this is what I think. And
Yeah.
it's,
It really is a community of,
mhm.
of people who care about each other. And
and,
that's
and,
nice to
and
see.
the great thing about the whole community is everybody knows that it's okay for Daniel to be wrong. I mean, we
Except
know,
for,
Daniel. We understand you, buddy.
yeah, I don't think he knows.
Yeah,
Uh,
he knows. He knows. I remind him every time I can talk to him. It's okay to be wrong, Daniel.
yeah, you remind him of that, and then you cut Kryptonian's video and audio off. It's great. I think it's funny. You guys like pop in and out. It's out of control, but I laugh every time. And the breaking news. I laugh at the breaking news every time too. I don't know if it'll ever get old, but there's a couple of comments here I want to go to. Let's see. Oh, we got John Cano. Hi. OBZ loves him some Chris Cruzy.
And OBZ, I love them, man. They're all over the place. Great
Yeah,
people.
he's pretty cool. Very supportive as well. Mariam Ba says hello everyone. King Kaching. Hey everyone. Crypto Terry, great show. And
Love
then
Crypto Terry.
Yeah, you guys were just on last night. Jamie R. Your map is a very talented individual. Yes, he is. And you notice that, like, from looking at his
Yeah.
videos, he just
Yeah.
seems like a
Someone wants to
funny,
say
silly.
hi to you, Miss Worldwide.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, Morgan?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good stuff. It's funny when you just pop in through the back. You just like appear through this green screen.
It's magic.
I like magic. You see, like your arms are like going in and out.
Yeah. Did you have a good Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was pretty busy. We went to church, took some pictures, went to a party. Then I was supposed to go on your dad's live, but I clicked the wrong link. But he had a good live.
That's
So it was
awesome,
cool.
though.
It was
Yeah, we
fun.
hung
It was
out,
fun.
took
I
a
was
bunch
telling
of
about
pictures.
when Olivia was saying Imran. So Imran's her husband.
Yeah.
He's the Marine. So
Yeah, Marines, man, that's tough. That's definitely tough. Those are like the frontline guys.
They don't joke
And
around.
yeah, yeah. Listen,
yeah, but they still
they
eat
got these
crayons. So.
psychos, but as long as it's your psycho, I'm fine with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
My husband's a psycho too. He's just not a Marine, so he's got no excuse.
Oh, God.
He's my psycho, so I'm fine with it.
Right.
All right.
Awesome.
Let
Devil
me
dogs.
see. We got some. Oh, Moses the Great live. You too. Oh, there's a question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you know if the rebases we will be getting from the Vulcan blockchain are subject to taxes in the USA? Maybe you have an idea about that. Thank you for your thoughts.
Yeah, Miriam, the Vulcan blockchain will be DeFi, so it will not trigger a taxable event until you move it to a central exchange and you take your profits from it. So it'll be DeFi and it'll do its thing, but when you pass it through to your bank account or off ramp it somehow, that'll trigger a taxable event. So that's where you'll want to make sure that you've researched it and you've talked to an accountant, and you make sure that you get the advice that you need to make sure that you're paying the proper amount of taxes, not overpaying and underpaying. I mean, she's a perfect example. She did last year. She did her taxes, and all the money that she made, she owed $4. So
Oh,
she doesn't get any money back. The government doesn't hold her money. She gets to spend her money, and she only paid $4. So,
oh, that's great. Yeah.
yeah,
We got to figure that stuff out. But I'm
yeah.
not
Because
really.
I'm a big person. I don't like getting tax refunds because of the fact that that means the government's had your money forever,
Yeah.
and they're
Mm.
using it to do whatever they're going to do. I don't want to pay any money, and I don't want to receive any money. I want to pay exactly what I'm supposed to, and nothing more, nothing less. So
I feel like I like the bonus at the end, though. I haven't paid taxes in years.
I know, but you know what? You honestly, but think about it. If you were going to get like a $2,000, tax return, what if like January of 2023, you opened up some type of a money market account that you put $2,000 in, or did a monthly thing? You'd earn more off the interest and have a whole lot more money than $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
it's
see
like,
that.
open up a money market account, do some safe investments. You'll probably make more than what you get in your tax refund.
Oh, for sure. That just takes more work.
Yeah.
We gotta find a better guy.
I was gonna
We
say, I
had a
love the bonus too. It was sad to not hear that I did that, but I was happy I only owed $4.
Yeah.
yeah. We gotta figure it out because Danny had a really good accountant or tax guy, whatever he was. And then he passed away. I guess
Oh.
probably from like so much stress because he wasn't that old.
'Cause-
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. And then they gave us a referral, and that guy, he just hasn't been that good. So we got to find somebody else, but whatever.
Well, Daniel knows. He'll fit. He'll get it the way he wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like we need to shop around. He doesn't like shopping around. He likes to find a person, and then that's it. And I like to be like, well, let's ask a few, and we got to figure it out. Crypto Terry is busy in the comments.
Yeah, he's
So,
hilarious.
when was the last time Chris saw his face? Yeah, every day, a couple
Is that
times a
his
day.
picture? The GIF?
Yeah.
Oh, because he used to be I love peanut butter.
And
And
crypto.
then he went to I love peanut butter and crypto. Then he went to crypto. I don't know. And then he went down to Crypto Terry. So he's been like progressing, but he said he had that during the pandemic. and he was like trying peanut butter with everything.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
gosh.
yeah, I couldn't do that. I would die. I'm allergic to
Yeah.
peanuts. Of course.
Oh my gosh.
He's
Yeah, no
always
way.
he's always got something good to say. I enjoy
Yeah.
my time with him during our lives and backstage. He's
He's a cool
turned
guy.
into quite a friend, and he's a good person for this planet that we need more like. We need more Crypto Terrys in this world.
Yeah, I'm having him on Monday. So tune in,
That's
guys.
awesome. At what time are you going to do that? What Monday?
I think at 5, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to get my thumbnail for him out before 24 hours because I just
Awesome.
so busy. Yeah, Morgan, I'm interviewing a bunch of these YouTube guys. So
That's awesome.
Kryptonian, I need and tomorrow I'm on tomorrow morning with Pride.
Oh,
So,
how fun!
yeah, Pride because I think he's got like a wealth of knowledge, but he doesn't always put it out there. So I like that. He's a pretty humble guy, but definitely knowledgeable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. He said he met without the beard. I told you we want to see you without that beard. I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with another charity.
When was the last time I had? Maybe
I was probably like not even double digits. Honestly, I'm being completely
I thought you were
honest.
gonna say I was probably like at the house when you shaved last time. I didn't know you were gonna go that far back.
No. It's been
I
it
don't
was
know.
maybe the middle of maybe 2015 or 16.
Oh my gosh, that's almost 10 years ago.
Well, I used to ride Harleys a lot, so it was like I grew the beard because it's pretty damn cold out there in your
Can you
face when
put
you're
that thing on
riding.
that those guys,
Yeah, but after a while, it's like you ever pull the covers over your face when you're sleeping and
No, I
breathing
hate
like
that.
that. But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It starts feeling like you're suffocating.
no.
So when you're on your bike and you got that cover, it's like can't.
Well, I would rather suffocate than get blasted in the face with the wind.
Yeah, it's funny.
I do
Bikers
that.
always got their eyes are like bugged out when they stop
Yeah.
riding, and their hair is like.
Yeah, I can't. I need to like tie it down, lock it all up. I think I've been on like 2 motorcycles. So I don't really remember how it was, but I was on like an ATV, like a four-wheeler, and then I did that I Fly America
Oh
where
yeah, we have one
oh
right down the street.
Yeah.
yeah, I did that. That was a mistake, but there's just the wind blowing all in your face. So I ordered the mask thing that had like the whole cover because it was like blasting. It was like like I just felt like my whole body is gonna break backwards.
Could you imagine? I
Oh
would
my
like
gosh.
Daniel should have filmed that, man. That'd have been the most
I
viral
have
video.
it. I have it. It
You
wasn't
need to
bad.
post that.
Yeah, I'll show it. I just have, you know what I have? I hate the computer. And like with YouTube, you have to use the computer. So I have to like put
Yeah.
stuff on the computer. And I need to get a Mac too, because my phone is an iPhone and like, they just don't communicate well. So I can't even really put much on here from my phone. So, but I do have that. And I made my mom do it. And she was like, I don't know, like 58 years old. And she was a mess. Like it was so embarrassing. I was like, "What are you doing?" Because they give you like a little crash course. They tell you what to do, and they were like pointing at the screen, and she was like, "Why is this guy's fingers in my face?" Because you were out of control. Like you're supposed to be. There's like a screen
They're
that
gonna-
tells you, put your arms up, put your legs up, whatever you're supposed to do. And she just was like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what a mess!" She was out of control, and then. David, the younger one, he was swimming around, like literally, like swimming in the air. I'm like, what the heck? It was a mess. It was funny, but it was a mess. Danny, he never goes with us because he's always working. But my older son, he was like up there like a bird. They went all the way up. I didn't go up because you can go all the way up in that tube. I just was like hanging low, low hanging fruit. I was like, this is safe here. He's like, you want to go up? I was like, not at all.
Nope. I'm good here.
Yeah. And then my oldest son, he was way up there. They were spinning around, doing all these dips and whatnot. I was like, oh my gosh, what if he slams into the side of this thing? Slides down. I just like my imagination is out of control, just so you guys know. Yeah, that's why that's why I was like, I always ask Danny questions about you guys and he doesn't really know, but I have like crazy questions sometimes. And he's like, I don't know. And then I was like, yeah, maybe I should just interview him. And maybe I should, yeah. And then that's how it came about because I just have like questions that really don't matter, but
It's okay.
I
It's
just,
okay.
yeah. They're
Yeah.
It
like,
makes the lives
no,
fun.
yeah. They're not like fully nosy, but it's like weird nosy, like what do you look like without your beard, Chris? Like,
Well, even Terry said like last night that we started talking about some of the things that I do, like with wood and stuff. And I showed the guys some stuff, and Terry's like, "Yeah, he wouldn't tell anybody that he does this. You have to ask it, and you have to pull it out of him." And I wouldn't.
yeah.
I would never sit on a
Well, you
live
got
here
that
and be like,
picture up there with the wood. So that's on my list. But before we get to that next question, Sharon loves your tattoos,
Thank
Morgan.
you, Sharon.
And you have a beautiful family. Bless you. That's probably for you
"Oh,
guys.
I am
No.
extremely blessed," and you only see a part of it. And I'll tell you that it's on a daily basis. I am reminded about how wonderful of a life and family and friends that I have. And I mean that with all sincerity. I'm not just saying that.
Oh no, you can tell. Yeah, you're all about your kids. I don't know. One day, I don't know if you have another kid that's a daughter. Like, do you have three daughters?
I have 4 daughters and
Okay.
one son.
Yeah, one day Morgan had already been on here, so it wasn't her. But you were like, guys, shh, 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 my daughter's right there. I'm like, I was like, oh my gosh, he like went into 1,000% dad mode. That was the funniest thing. You were like, because you were on with the guys,
Hey,
and the guys get a little wild sometimes, and you were like,
no,
guys,
I have no idea what you're talking about. I cannot confirm nor deny the accusations.
it was funny.
Don't
I
do
was
it all the time.
cracking up. It
Don't
was
drop
great.
the F bomb.
Oh yeah,
And I'll hear them
Oh yeah, no,
saying that in here, and I'm like, really?
listen,
no.
I'm old enough to drop the F bomb. You are not.
Okay.
I don't. I don't curse. I never curse ever. I don't watch any movies over PG-13. I'm that girl. Yeah, I mean, I never did any drugs or smoked anything at all. I do drink, but I don't get drunk. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
That's
I
awesome, though. That's
I smoke
conservative.
cigars. I drink bourbon. I
I
cuss
would
like a
die.
sailor. I'm like,
All of
He
those
does
things would
believe in
kill me.
God.
yes.
He does believe
And
in God.
every day I go and I say, God, I'm sorry I failed you today. Because those cigars and that bourbon and that cussing, it just gets control over me,
Yeah,
dear
I can't
Lord.
even imagine. I guess I could see you with the bourbon and the cigars because that kind of looks cool. But I can't imagine you cursing somebody out or just I don't know. You look too nice for that. I mean, you got the beard for it, but you know.
Yeah, I think I have a life of before my children that
Oh,
the things that I saw and the things that I did, it makes it so that when some jackwagon is being dumb or something like that, it really doesn't phase me much at all. You know,
right, right.
I don't get too upset. If I get upset, then you've done something that could harm like my family, my friends, or my
Yeah,
neighbors, and that's when I get upset. But
I get upset with disrespect. Like, oh my
oh,
gosh.
yeah, you and me both. I do get that because um I had a pretty tough upbringing, so I learned that you got a lot you got a lot more things done in your life, and your life was a lot better if you respected people.
Yeah, I've always been respectful. I actually got into a physical fight like a few years ago, which was crazy, but I dealt with a lot at first, but she touched my face. She didn't hit me,
Oh,
but she
yeah,
touched my face and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's over now. You should have never
yeah,
done that."
yeah. Well,
And
I guess that's a normal
he was
response.
shocked. He was shocked. He was like, at the end of after everything was over, he was like, "That was so hot," and he said other things, obviously, and I was like, "What are you? Calm down! Like, what the heck?" He was like, "I didn't know you could do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes." But anyway, so the are you still a gamer? Because when I heard that whole thing, I thought that was pretty wild. You don't
Oh
look
yeah,
like a gamer.
yeah. I'm a very I I'm a big gamer. Yeah, I would say that I've gamed. I wouldn't say that I'm a gamer multiple games, but I play World of Warcraft pretty religiously.
Yeah.
I played it since since the kids were little, because I mean that's how it started. They'd be in bed early, and I'd be bored. I'd get
Yeah.
on the internet, and I was like, I'm gonna play a video game, and then they would go to bed early, and then I would just go play video games while they're in bed. And
I
Morgan
went
was
through that.
the best because Morgan would sleep 12 hours no matter what.
I still do. I still do. I mean, I don't sleep until 1 p.m., but man, sleep is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does a good job. I mean, I'd have to sneak in and like change her diaper while she was sleeping, but that's all I had to do. And she'd go to bed at 8 o'clock, get up 8 in the morning. Go to bed at 6 o'clock, get up 6 o'clock in the
Crazy.
morning. She was like,
No, I didn't
Oh,
have
my
that
kids are
life.
like
Yeah. No, I was up late, up early, barely slept. Even now I still don't sleep that much. It's kind of tough, but the boys were like that too. I think it's kind of crazy. Crypto Terry, I'm 41. I turned 41 on April 23rd. My birthday is very close to Morgan's. We were on
yeah,
there.
I
Remember?
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, because your anniversary is on your birthday too, right?
Yeah, it's my birth anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it's our dating anniversary and our wedding anniversary. Let's
oh,
make it
that's
easy.
awesome. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
right
feel
there. You're like no spread out. We just all the money right then and there.
yeah, and I don't have to remember because
Right.
that's really the issue. Because the
Yeah,
funny thing
you're
is,
like,
one day I asked Dano, I was like, "When's our anniversary?" This was in the beginning, obviously,
yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday. Remember that was our first date?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
awkward."
Mine's easy to remember too. It's December 31st, New Year's Eve. So I'm like, thank gosh.
Party time. Yeah,
Yeah.
party time either way. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good stuff. I did play video games though, and I started to not recognize myself. I was out of control. I was being mean to kids. I was just obsessed. Or if a little kid was like, "Oh, can you help them jump over something and then you give them the controller back." I didn't give it back. I was like, "Let me just do this. Let me," and I'm
Yeah.
like clicking. Oh my gosh, I was out of control. And then there was this game. It was like, oh, Bloody Roar. Have you ever heard of that game?
No.
No.
Okay, it's old. It's a fighting game. I was out of control. This girl, she kind of was dressed like a bit of a slut, and I liked her because she had big thighs, and I could make her throw her leg at people, and no one could stop me. Once I started letting her kick, she took anybody out, and then she would do these inappropriate, wildly sexual poses after she killed someone. But I loved it. I loved it. I was never anybody else. And I was just out of control. And I was like, I have to stop this. I was out of control. And I would be like, I mean, I never cursed anybody out or yelled at anybody, but I was definitely in there getting wild and raising my voice, which I never do. Oh, this is my friend in the comments.
Just bossing on people.
Yeah, I was out of control. I was beating my little brother, his best friend, my ex-husband, whoever came. I was like, "Come on in, come on in." This is what I was recovering from being paralyzed, so I had a nurse. I had the physical therapist. I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "No, we're working." I'm busy. I don't have time to stop for you to help me get better.
Right.
No. Yeah, I was wild. Yeah, but this guy, he used to play with me. He said he didn't like games I could beat him in because he's a real gamer. This guy, G Master 5001, he's been my friend since I was 11.
Oh.
And that guy plays everything. He's like Fowler, plays everything, knows all these games. Like me, no. I picked one game and I dominated. What's that other game with the Wii? What's that? A Wii Sports or Resorts or whatever?
Yeah.
Dude, I was a savage in the boat rowing thing, canoeing. And we had family night. That was the only time, or family game night. That was the only time I would let the boys really play video games. And oh my gosh, once I got that control, I was like, "That's it. You're going to lose." I was such a savage with my own children. And they're like, "You're cheating." One time I whacked my kid in the head because I was like, "Get out of the way. I need room."
It's getting real.
It was so real. I would need to use my inhaler and everything. I was just going and going, but I won every time.
That's what counts.
Yep.
Yeah. I only play games like I knew I was gonna win, and that's when I realized, like, I was like, I can't be doing this. This is out of control. I've injured my child. I
Like,
need
gotta
my
retire.
inhaler. Like I was like out of breath. I was like, I need my inhaler. I gotta stop. So I haven't played a game since then, but who knows? It could happen again. They're older now. It's more of a fair fight. I don't
Right.
know.
Now you're actually like thinking I'm gonna have to brush up on my game.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's fine. It's good.
All right. Okay. This guy said he retired. Yeah, right. I think he's just taking a break, a short break. So with the video games, you said something about Bitcoin. Like that's how you got into Bitcoin with the gaming?
Yeah, yeah. And I
That oh.
there's a part of World of Warcraft that you do these raids and dungeons and stuff like that, and you have like a healer and a couple of damage players, and you have they call it the tank is usually like the leader,
Yeah.
and you have guilds and stuff like that. And then on the weekends, it was on Sunday nights, they were trying to in these guilds they send out messages and say, hey, we're going to try to do this raid and we need a tank. And I always did the tank part. And they were back then they were like, hey, if you do this raid for us, and it was like last minute or whatever, they're like, we'll give you Bitcoin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I thought it was like coins that you could get to maybe get gear in the game.
Hmm.
But so I did it, and I got. I think back then it was. I think it was like 20 Bitcoin, but I only ended up getting 15. So I don't know what it was.
Yeah, that's
But
weird.
and then a couple years later, he reached out. I reached out to him and said, "Hey, where's that Bitcoin stuff at?" And he's like, "Oh, I got it here." And he sent me the address, all that kind of stuff, and how to get to
Mhm.
it. And then I kept it because I didn't know how to sell it. Not like I'm some genius. And then
Yeah.
I moved it over to Coinbase when Coinbase brought theirs in, and I've moved it into a cold storage since then.
Good stuff. And then you just like, what did you look into it and find out that it was valuable or?
Yeah, I didn't know how to sell it at first, so I was like, "What
Hmm.
do I do?" And then I was like, "You know what? This thing has gone up so much since I got it. I'm just gonna keep it." So I just kept it, and I've been doing that ever since. Now I sold, like I said, I sold like 3 of them, like 2017 or something like that, or 18,
Yeah.
and then it was for I liked it. I was good. It was for a good cause, and I've made tons of money from doing that. But I kind of was like heartbroken. I'm like, oh no, I got to get it back to where it was, and like keep it there. I'm not gonna sell that. So
I think that was like a really good turn of like luck, I guess, for you.
well, I
Because
mean,
ew.
I look back at it now. They were doing like 25 Bitcoin a week when you if you would do it their raids, and I was like, that I'm not doing that. I was like,
That's crazy though.
but it was like they were dropping Bitcoin in those video games, and especially like World of Warcraft was popular. I think it's popular still, but back then it was like there was only a few games out there that you could all go online and hang out and do these things, and they were doing 25 Bitcoin a week when you would do that. And I'm like, all right, but I never took them up on it. I got like 15 Bitcoin, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, but that got you started and that's good. And now, like, I can't even imagine how much you have.
Well,
And you
I
all
now
that
now I
stuff.
have 16.
16?
Yeah.
All right. It sounds a little bit, but I know like Bitcoin, each Bitcoin is worth a lot.
Well,
So
all I know is that I have more than Kryptonian, and I am Kryptonian's Bitcoin daddy.
I
So
think you will always be.
yeah. So, and no matter what we get out of this whole conversation, you and I just need to go away saying, "Yep, Chris is Kryptonian's Bitcoin daddy."
Okay. We can say that at the end before we close. That's crazy. So then what do you do for work?
I own well, I have two businesses. Um, And I have a limited schedule with each one. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's my big dog. That's the
He
big one.
sounds old.
No, he's enormous. He's a very
Yeah.
large German Shepherd, and he's big.
Like how many pounds?
He's skinny, but he's about 80 pounds. But he's a
Oh,
skinnier dog.
that's not very large. You know what?
If
At
you
the vet,
saw him, his head is bigger than mine. You'd be like,
yeah,
man,
my dog's head but my dog's a 90-pound guy. He's got a
90.
his head is huge, but he's not that tall. He's not like a German Shepherd. He's a pit
Yeah.
bull. He's a staffy, but the big head, you know. But yeah, one time at the vet, I saw this 140-pound German Shepherd. He
Mm.
had so much fur. He didn't look fat. He was a farm dog. God knows, he looked like he was part wolf. He was gigantic. And I was just looking at him. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know. I was a kid at the time. And I think he weighed probably like twice my weight.
Wow.
Yeah. I was just like, what the heck? Did you feed him? He's like, this is a farm working dog. I was
Yeah.
like, whatever. That's weird. All right. So the woodworking, how long you been doing that?
Oh, years. Probably one of those things that I would do. I would, instead of playing World of Warcraft, I would do woodworking. So
Is that
I
like a
would.
family thing? Did you learn how to do that or you just started doing it one day?
Well, I work when I was a kid. I worked on a farm when I was real little, and we had to do all kinds of things, and that was crazy. And I was 12 when I started working on a farm, so it was like I had to learn
Childhood
early
labor.
to figure out things. Yeah, it was like I'd make a dollar a day, and I was like,
Oh my
man, I
gosh.
am rich.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
not these kids nowadays, no way. Oh my gosh. So, do you want to share any of your stuff?
yeah, I mean,
Screen
I
up?
have the guys. It started on Mellifella Crypto's show. We were talking about. I didn't know what this was about, so I'm kind of embarrassed about it. But somebody had come to me and they were like, "Hey, could you make us?" I gotta find all the pictures. Okay, could you make us this? They called it a wine stopper,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "I'm such a tool, man."
What?
So there's a that I'm this is a wine stopper. I didn't know what it was, but
Yeah.
the wood and the resin, that all that, it I make that, and then I put it on a lathe and I turn it into some type of handle and everything like that for the wine stopper. But I actually thought wine stoppers were for decoration. I didn't know that they
Oh,
had a purpose.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, all right. But and then what I did was I made this is like the set of it. So I got to go to
Well, I
this.
think you did a really good job for not knowing what the heck it was.
Yeah. So it's like a bottle opener and
Yeah.
I make a lot of those here and there, but I probably made 100 of them and I still didn't know what they were. I knew what a bottle opener was, but I thought the other one, they were decorations, but they were talking about wine and everything. And I was like, okay, you know what? I made these and I didn't even know for sure what they were.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them, I mean, they don't even work, so it's good to find nice ones because the cork doesn't always go back in there. And then I use them more for champagne because I like
Yeah.
champagne better than wine. But you need to like, use something in the champagne to pop that thing back in there. What's that, a bowl?
Yeah, this is like a bowl that we started on that wood that I was using on there, and these are different fragments here and there, and then it's just like a candy dish and stuff that I made this for my sister. It was for her, but it wasn't a gift to her. It was she wanted a candy dish for a Christmas theme or whatever, and
Yeah.
so made her that, and then I mean, there's a bunch of other things, but they're not. I mean, they're just my
Well, I wish you lived closer. I'd hit you up for a bunch of stuff. Just buy the wood and be like, "Hey, can you make me this? Can you make me that? Can you make me this?" I
Yeah,
want. There's a couple of things I want. I'm trying to find somebody to make for my events, the parties that I do. There's like these wood things, and they're pretty cool, but I don't know how to do it, so I don't want to hurt myself. That
that's
looks really nice.
yeah, that's like just another bowl, but
Mm-hmm.
and I do like CNC work where, I carve different signs, different things here and there. One of the other things that they were talking about is this is I make these too all the time, and this one is quite unique and fun, I think. This is I make a
Oh,
lot
that's
of rings. I make a
cool.
lot of them, but this ring, it glows in the dark a little bit, so it
Cool.
looks like there's lava running through your finger.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool. My older son likes those things, and my niece. That's cool.
yeah, I get the titanium or whichever it is, whatever kind of metal it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I turn the metal on a lathe, turn it down to the size that it needs to be, and then cut out the channel where everything's going to be, and then fill it with any kind of stones. A lady wanted me to make her son's diamond
Wedding
rings or
bands.
something like that, and I put diamonds in them, but just different things like that.
You put diamonds in the middle like that?
Yeah, yeah, and they're recessed in there. Now these
Yeah.
diamonds weren't whole diamonds; they were cut diamonds. So,
Okay. Because I was
but
gonna say, how do they stay in there? But you put it in like the resin?
well, now with that there is resin on those, and then
Mm-hmm.
the resin has to be cut down
Mm-hmm.
to fit them. But um, the diamond ones were like that too. So
That's cool.
some of them are different because they're different because they have stripes in them, and people like them different. But I mean, I probably have thousands of things that I've made over the years. Nothing. Some of the things that I made out in I took my camera out in the garage and showed the guys the American flag that I put on the wall. It's like
I
six
heard you
feet
talking
by.
about it, but I missed it. You said it's a big wooden one, right?
Yeah, yeah. It takes up basically the whole side of my one garage.
No, that's cool. I think that like the American flag is nice, but I think it's nicer when it's like a crafty thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and I put
It's beat up.
in the planks, I put in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
So
that's
there's like,
even cooler.
yeah, so there's an added thing to it, so people, it's basically for me. And I made two other ones, but that's all I wanted to make.
No, I think that's great. I like making stuff, but I can't really do that much anymore because of my hands, which is pretty annoying. But it is what it is. So
That's why
I
I really like Miss Pride's wife, Artsy Girl, because
yeah.
I really like the things that she makes and stuff like that. I have like an affinity for handmade original type things that you know came from somebody, not from a
I like
factory. And
factory, yeah. I like handmade stuff. I do like some factory things too, but I like to see people's work, even if I don't want to wear it or whatever. I think it's cool creating. I think we were all created to create.
yeah,
So
agree.
whether it's, like something that you speak or say, or like something that you do with your hands, or writing or whatever, I just think like, or cooking, I just think that if we're creating, then we feel more like purposeful and like, like more accomplished.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, cooking is one that I'm not that good at cooking, but I always get so amazed how people that'll be cooking, they'll cook and they'll have so many things going on, and it'll come to a conclusion, and it's like, wow, that
yeah,
tastes pretty good.
that's me. I got all the things going on. And some people can just like turn it on and go sit down. Like, no, I have to stand up there, I have to mix it, I have to stir it, I have to smell it. Because half the stuff,
Yeah.
well, most of the stuff I make, I'm allergic to, so I can't taste it. I just have to know like how it smells, and then I gotta call a taste tester, and the dog's
Oh,
always. But yeah, I don't want the dog to tell me if it's good or not because he thinks everything's good. So I
yeah.
got one of the kids to come in, like, how's the sauce taste? Like, because it smells like it's ready, but you know what I mean? I don't know. But so with the cooking, that leads me to my next question. What do you do for fun?
Um, I
But
think
no, it's not cooking.
there's there's my sister, brother-in-law. Go out with them every once in a while. Um, there's sporting events. There's different. I like to go to the casino. Um,
Oh, you and Greek.
yeah, I don't. I mean, I go down and I play Texas Hold'em, and usually when I go down, it'll be for a couple of days. So
Oh,
I'll play for a while, but haven't done that in a while. But every once in a while. So just different things. There's always where I live. There's always something going on. There's the city that I live in is very active. They always have stuff, especially in the summertime. And well, I guess the wintertime they got indoor type stuff, but there's
that's cool.
always something going on where I live and the towns that are close by. So it's I think it's just getting out and hanging out with people and a lot of the vets and the VFW and American Legion. So
Oh yeah, you did say you like to volunteer with them. I have a friend who's a vet, and he likes to do all kinds of stuff for those organizations. And he does like they go to the cemeteries and they take the flags,
oh,
they replace them all the time and stuff like that.
yeah, Memorial Day's coming up soon, so that's a big deal for us veterans.
Hmm. Yeah, I really don't ever know what we're supposed to do, so it's usually a barbecue. But I like to make my obligatory post, and then I text my family members to say thank you because to who is still around.
Mhm.
And that's cool because I got
Yeah, we
uncles.
usually go to the cemeteries, replace the flags, flowers, things like that, clean
Yeah.
up around the headstones, and do those types of things. And we all go to different cemeteries and things like that. So
I think that's nice. I mean, maybe one day I would do that. Um, but I didn't even know it was a thing until my friend told me he does it.
yeah.
So I think that would probably be a good thing to do. Like maybe I could tell David's basketball team
Now
that.
we usually don't do much on Veterans Day and Armed Services Day, nothing like that. But on Memorial Day, all of us take it pretty serious. It's
Yeah.
our big deal.
Yeah, I wish that there was like something, I don't know, like something more with the community for veterans because it's never, it's just like all the barbecue stuff. So it would be nice if they had.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most veterans are like, that's what we want it to be. But like when it comes to Memorial Day,
Hmm.
I have to tell you, over the years, I have seen an enormous amount of young people when we're doing over the years
Yeah.
being involved and all that stuff. Now they do parades and things like that, but I see a lot of young people, young teenage, early 20s kids out helping with dressing up cemeteries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think if it's a thing in the community where people are doing it, then if they put it out there that they can, I think a
Mhm.
lot of people would be more likely to get involved with it. Because, like I said, my friend, he's in the Legion, the Legion, American Legion.
American Legion, yeah.
Yeah, they do it, so it's not like a public thing. So I think maybe if they put it out there for people to volunteer, I think people would do that more. Because I
Yeah,
thought it was like
but
a
we have kids that do it. I mean, our American Legion does it, VFW does it, and then we have relatives and kids and volunteers that come all the time, and some of them don't have any affiliation with any kind of veterans or anything
yeah,
like that, but,
it's
like, their
nice to
great
do.
grandpa passed, was died in World War II. They never knew them, but,
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's good. That's how we keep connected. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's how the community stays connected. But so that's all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to say about any projects you're involved in or
No, I'm just, I'm involved in, well, I would say I'm kinda biased. I'm involved in all the projects that we have on Vulcan. I'm
yeah.
a big supporter of the influencers, the community, and, I think that Vulcan is gonna change people's lives. I think it's gonna be for the better, and I think that, think that people need to trust the process and focus on the end goal and be excited for everything and do whatever you do, accumulate and hold.
Yes, that's my thing. Hodl.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for coming on and being so open and candid with me. And I will see you in the comments.
Thank you.